It's important to me when you have the most deadliest planet to really live up to that.
Genna is the most dangerous planet in the whole universe, so every plant, every creature is technically trying to kill you.
New Zealand, thankfully, has incredibly impressive landscapes where we only need to subtly enhance with visual effects to make look otherworldly.
Genna. We needed to make this look like an alien planet, an environment that hadn't been seen before, and that it felt not only mysterious, but different to the viewer.
We went out with the express purpose of being able to get up close with the natural environment in these locations, but also reveal big, epic, wide views of Genna.
You want to inspire the brain, the mind, the eye, and you want to show things that take your breath away. And of course, they'll be digitally augmented as well, so that there's an alien factor to it. But when you stand next to a 100-foot waterfall, you are transported.
We're following Deck discovering this planet, the most dangerous planet in the universe. And the locations in New Zealand are just fantastic to show that.
We have filmed in like the most beautiful locations ever. I never get tired of the view. Here in New Zealand, the weather's a bit unpredictable, so you don't know what you're gonna get. But Dan had said, it's okay, we're gonna roll with it. So we've had some rain, we've had some winds, but we've also had beautiful sunny days as well.
You stop, you see all of them in front of you, but we're surrounded kind of thing. One of my favorite days was shooting in a trench that's filled with a couple feet of water. There were eels inside those waters, and we had to wear these hip waders and water protective gear, and we're trudging through in ways that I would have loved as a little kid. It all felt like we were on an adventure together that was really special.
Like this?
Yeah, so that hand goes
I
out.
have to go like that.
They're all looking in front of you, and then following you around. Yeah, they're all looking.
The world building and environment work here at FX for Predator Badlands involved a wide range of different environments and scenarios. So a huge undertaking really to have somewhat a seamless integration. We needed to make sure that this all felt plausible, photographic, real, and appropriate to everyone's taste.
We have an open plain of razor grass that he has to navigate, and these terrifying branches that feels like the forest is coming alive itself, and the spike pod minefield that Deck has to traverse.
We had to obviously put the spike pods in there. We had some practical props for that, but then with all the action, all of that was becoming CG.
In Badlands, we have a plethora of monsters of differing sizes and shapes and purposes to the story. And at one point, Deck loses his classic Predator weapon. And so we have this idea that, well, what if he tries to recreate that weaponry with organic materials that are at hand? He can make his gauntlet with the blades out of the spikes of the creature, like this creature, for instance, this vulture, this beautiful big design. The tip of this beak is very sharp, so Deck cuts that off and applies it to his gauntlet. He puts a mask together from parts of a big armored elk-like creature. One of the more creative aspects of this is that he somehow needs to recreate his shoulder cannon, the classic Predator shoulder cannon. So he had this idea that maybe there's a creature that he could find that has two chemicals that when they hit in midair together, these chemical strands, they mix and become like a scalding hot lava.
Designing the callus, designing the creature that can't be killed was incredibly challenging because it has to live up to audiences' expectations, and you hope that when you see it, it looks unexpected. But actually the callus is so much more of a character than just the big threat of the movie. So I wanted to give it a sense of nobility and dignity on top of its monstrousness. I looked to the designs of Miyazaki in some of the video games that I've loved, the Shadow of the Colossus and Ico series that have beasts that are scary, but also there's something more familial and instinctual inside of them. So the callus hopefully lives up to what the audiences are going to be building towards throughout the movie.
The inspiration we got from Dan was very like a panther, hence the shape of the body, but we added a tail to be able to have something that looks dangerous, that could really hurt somebody.
We were involved in early concept phases with the filmmakers and our art department here at Weather Effects, engaged on a series of concept art to really crank down the design and find who the Calus really wanted to be.
The other challenge, of course, was designing Bud so that you do not see a connection between the Calus and Bud for the majority of the movie, and then when you find there is a connection, it actually does make complete sense.
The brief was like Bud could have a range from like a puppy to ape. It was a mix, sometimes even like mixing with a reptile type of movement. Really put like a lot of effort in trying to find the attitude and the emotions.
Bud's a special little creature. She needed to look almost the opposite of the Calus in that when you first meet her, we wanted you to feel like, oh, maybe she's harmless.
You are little sweet little thing.
But then actually, she is very capable of ripping lots of things to shreds and dealing with the environment in ways that Deck can't. Deck has to deal with all of these different creatures, but also the planet itself.
Putting on the suit, man, it's incredible. Every person who has played the Predator in the past have had not only the mental challenges of just acting in general, but the physical challenges of, putting on a suit, acting through the suit, having contacts and not really being able to see, being hot the whole time, like all these different obstacles, but you have to fight through it to bring the performance and make it as authentic as you can. It still buzzes me out that I get to do this for work.
Demetrius was one of the most remarkable finds of certainly my career.
Demetrius is a unicorn in the truest sense of the word.
Good morning. We're back. Woo!
We knew we were going to shoot the movie down in New Zealand, and we were going to have to cast the role of Deck with somebody who's in New Zealand.
He had a lovely audition, and we wanted to see what he was capable of physically, and we made a sort of obstacle course. And the way that Demetrius navigated that course, the swashbuckle he brought to all of the sliding and jumping and leaping and weapon work, Demetrius really just had a special physicality.
Immediately I got a text from Dan and he wrote just like, Demetrius, exclamation, exclamation, exclamation point. It was something about the way that he moved that you were like, oh, this feels already like the character in a way that we didn't even know what we were looking for. We knew it once we saw it.
Action!
We got this.
Got it.
I love Demetrius so much. He is such a special person. He's so kind. He's so fun. Like, you could hear him coming from a mile away. But he's such a great actor.
Wait, you
We did these scenes together, mostly back to back. But still, I could feel his presence.
What was so cool about Badlands is that you had Alec Gillis, legendary Predator design with the franchise, paired together with Weta Workshop, the premier physical creature effects house in the world. And to see the two of them work together on this, that was really heartwarming.
Alec is one of my most treasured collaborators. He started on the original Predator movie and has worked on almost all of the Predator and Alien franchise. And we met on Prey and have continued through even the animated film Killer of Killers and had a really special experience on Badlands.
This is the big challenge of the project, which is to take the Predator, which has traditionally been a cunning, thinking creature, but he's a destructive force. And we've all loved that. This is the first time we have to make the Predator more of a character.
When you're seeing a Predator wearing a mask that is entirely physical, practically built. But Demetrius, throughout the movie, when he loses his mask, we shot it with an open cowl.
Throughout the majority of the film, this is the first time we kind of see a Yautja unmasked throughout most of the film. It's usually the end of the film where Predator loses the mask, so I think it's kind of cool that we're able to have a film where he's just unmasked and like vulnerable.
We quickly realized the emotional demands of the Predator character in this movie is far beyond anything we've ever done before. So it took our VFX supervisor, Olivier Dumont, and all of the incredible artists at Weta Digital to take Demetrius' performance and enhance it and bring it further to life as the ferocious Predator.
I'm sorry. I needed you to help bring me here.
We're lucky enough to work with Demetrius because he has such an expressive way of doing things. That was like the main key for us to find out how to translate the emotions into like a creature that nobody is used to.
Facial animation was a big part of that, and with this sort of foreign alien language, it forced us a little bit to explore how to do a lip sync effectively with what is not a typically human mouth, and the mandibles are engaged in a different way. So there's a lot of challenge to think about, like how to convey an alien dialogue, but also do this in an emotional, relatable way that you can connect to the Predator and you understand the emotion that he's going through and the message that he's saying and sending.
You're grieving. It's the most expressive, like we've ever seen a Predator before, because it was really Demetrius's face and all of the facial expressions and the emotion that he was showing. You can see shining through the visual effects and everything that they did.
When Demetrius showed up, not just for the physical work, but for the emotional work, where he went, I was not prepared for, I was not expecting, and now brings so much to this creature that is simultaneously vulnerable, but also terrifying and ferocious and visceral.
I'm just really grateful, bro. It's been an awesome experience. I've loved every minute of it.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. Joblo remains an independent company, and we appreciate all of your support.